What's going on, guys? I'm Maze, and recently a brand new episode for the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime aired on TV. Episode 97, Dartrix the Artisan, Sleeping Rowlet, which it was certainly an adequate time watching it. So because of that, I've decided for today's video that I will review this latest episode. Hopefully getting yourself to check out the episode too, if you haven't already. And with that intro now said, let's jump right into this review. So the episode begins off with the new character introduced for this anime, Hau, training with his Dartrix, which it was a nice little scene and introduction for these characters. Eventually though, they find Ash nearby in a forest and quickly become friends with him, due to him owning a Z-Ring, confirming he beat Harla's trial, and even having the same partner species as Hau, which Hau was actually training for a battle against Harla. His grandfather wants to be at his absolute best to impress him. Meanwhile, we also got to see Dartrix's clean, fashion sense personality, which was quite amusing, yet also very fitting for the Pokemon. Just overall, this entire greeting between these characters was quite lovely to witness. I do wonder though that if the region Hau was living in before he came to Alola, as he stated in the greeting, is the Generation 8 region, as surely he would have mentioned an old region name instead of the word just region, if it wasn't a new one. Time shall soon tell. Ooh, even more Sawyer vibes though. Lived in another region, came to the region where Ash is, and is even a beginner trainer. Hau needed to take on Harla to get a Z-Ring. Anyway, Ash then challenges Hau to a battle due to being interested in his Dartrix. He wants to use Rowlet too due to Dartrix being the evolution of it, which Hau accepts as it will be good training for him. The entire battle we got to witness wasn't anything too special, to be honest. It was just very quick, and Dartrix only really used Leaf Blade while Rowlet was being Rowlet. Ash losing the battle. But I completely understand, as this battle was meant to showcase the power of Dartrix, which would inspire Ash and Rowlet to train. Is what I would say if Ash didn't make himself to blame for the loss of this battle. He dropped the Grass NMC, which made him not pay attention to Rowlet in the battle, ending up in its loss. Like, what the hell? The anime wants us to believe that Ash and Rowlet want to train, like I said, but I just feel like deep down that if Ash used the Sea Crystal, he would have won against Hau. This is definitely one issue I have with this episode, but I can't complain much, as later down the road, Rowlet does get the justice its character needed deeply. If I did have to pick a good highlight from this teeny battle though, that would be Rowlet falling asleep in the air. Yes, it ain't action, but it surprisingly made me laugh hard, and even made Dartrix hit itself pretty hard, which was, decent. Moving on with the story though, Ash demands a rematch, and Hau, despite being inspired to battle him again, unfortunately has to go help his dad with a few things, so he and Ash agrees to battle at the same location the next day. At Ash's house during the night, Professor Kukui, upon hearing the battle between Ash and Hau, and even seeing Rowlet be inspired to defeat Dartrix the next time around, gives a worthy speech to Ash about how it's best to go back to roots, aka learn a new move. But yes, this context can apply to Ash going to a new region each time, haha. But yes, Ash the next day decides to attempt to learn a new move with Rowlet, going to his family specifically for training. Hello there, nice to see you again, I guess. Rowlet's family showcase their weird, yet understandable Bullet Seeds using rocks, which inspires the two to learn Bullet Seed, despite Rotom even stating that Rowlet cannot learn Bullet Seed. Ah, relatable. So we then get to see the two try their best to learn this move, even getting a nice kind of callback to Trico. When Rowlet tries to find another rock to use Bullet Seed though, he instead finds a, Everstone, which Rowlet really likes the taste of, and swallows it so he can use it in battle whenever. It's actually learning Seed Bomb instead, as it's one big rock instead of multiple little ones. Which makes sense again, I guess, and it was pretty cool to see, but man, this confirms Rowlet will not evolve in the anime. More on that later though. Gotta love Ash being annoyed that Rowlet clings onto this Everstone though. That's exactly the fanbase's reaction to this revelation. Moving along in the day, Ash and Rowlet are ready to battle against Hau again, which for his rematch we got to witness was 1 times better than the first battle. We got to see Seed-Bomb packing some nice action, Dartrix sending Seed-Bombs back like ping pong balls, nice peck strategies, and it was fulfilling to see Bloom Doom once again after such a long time. Although, I do wish that battles don't always fucking end on Z moves. Please start to use them at the start or middle of the battle, Sun and Moon. It's getting way too predictable that trainers use them towards the end, and we even want to see more effort, aka actions in battles. But, regardless of that, the episode then ends off with Hal actually crying surprisingly over this loss, but quickly puts on a fake smile and promises to battle against Ash in the future, which that bond the two have already is quite darling. More of that crying scene later though. With that story now said though, let's now move on to my overall thoughts regarding this episode. At first, I was very hyped for this episode, simply because Rowlet had been useless in all of Season 2, barely getting any screen time, making this the first episode where he gets major development in forever. And the fact that this episode would also introduce a new rival for Ash, Hal. Which, despite those two factors being pretty great in this episode, when I just put the entire episode together, like a pizza for example, with Rowlet development being one slice, Hal's character another slice, and all the other factors as other slices, I just feel like this is an average episode at best. aka it's neither good or bad, just a solid middle ground that at least satisfies you. Why I think this is because the other slices of pizza wasn't as good as the two major slices. For example, we have the battles. They were so short and barely packed in cool moments. It didn't excite me as much as I hoped they would have done. I was just sitting there feeling bored, waiting for something worthwhile to happen. But before I know it, the battle was over. And yes guys, this even counts towards the second battle. If you remember, I said it was 1 times better than the first battle, not 2 times. And why that is because it only improved a little bit in my opinion. But hey, at least the second battle did get me talking about 2 cool moments in the storytelling section. Just, when you put it together though, they're very disappointing battles. Another thing that didn't really impress me was the overall structure of this episode. It felt the kinda same to episode 15 and even episode 63, aka the other Alolan members' development episodes. You lose, you train, you learn a new move, and win in a rematch. And sure, this even happens in old series too, I'm fully aware of that, but I would have at least liked to see a difference in that structure for these development episodes. It's more of a personal nitpick, I will admit, but compared to battles, this ain't something I will downgrade the episode for that much. And hey, I did admit that I did quite enjoy Rowlet's overall development regardless. But that takes me to my next point as well, which is that Rowlet got confirmed to not evolve ever, thanks to this Everstone, which is quite disappointing, as it would have been so sick to see Ash with a Ghost type and a brilliantly designed Pokemon. This has even given us more evidence that Ash will lose the Alolan League, thanks to not having fully evolved members on his Alolan team. Not that it would matter anyway, as Ash always loses the leagues. I've come to accept that. But to those who still hope that Ash will win the league, do you still really believe now that he will win with not a fully evolved team? Eevee's even coming into the anime soon, which was most likely not going to evolve, thanks to Pokemon Let's Go Eevee not allowing you to evolve your partner Eevee within that game. Regardless of that though, again, it's such a shame that Rowlet won't evolve. But at the same time, it makes complete sense to me, as Rowlet is the perfect cute Pokemon to market for anime merchandise, and there are even many people out there who do prefer Rowlet over its evolutions too. I don't think I've seen a single person like Dartrix. If you do though, then comment down below. I personally do, but I've never seen anybody who does. And by that, I mostly mean its design. Overall regarding this revelation though, I ain't gonna downgrade him for rating, but it did give us a disappointing reaction. Let's bring up positivity again though, and what better way to do that by talking about Hal, the upbeat guy. As you saw, I believe he was one of the best features in this episode, and that is because I just love how his positive personality fits so well for this anime. It gives you a heartwarming feeling, and you just know just by looking at this guy that he and Ash will become such great rivals and friends, which is something I've definitely wanted and puts a big smile on my face. Even his partner Pokemon Dartrix was lovable to watch. I love its whole trait of looking good, and how it portrays its moves in battles is excellently unique to that Pokemon. The bond between him and Hal too is very endearing. What a lively, charming bunch. Gotta love that soft side to Hal too, which I cannot wait to see that play out more in the future as well. Who knows, at the last moment, he could change from this very optimistic guy to a very serious character thanks to losing to Ash so many times, much like how it kinda was in the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon games. That would be stunning. Finally, for this story section, I might as well mention again. It feels so fulfilling to see Rowlet finally get the much deserved development it needed after doing absolutely nothing for such a long time. And much like Hal, I cannot wait to see this more in action. With that said, that concludes the story section, so let's now start to move on to the animation and music aspects we got on this episode. Firstly, for the animation, it was fluid throughout the whole thing. However, my particular favourite highlights have to come from Dartrix's moveset. They all look sharp, some choices of camera angles, such as panning down on Rowlet's peck, and despite seeing Bloom Doom before, it's still as beautiful and green as ever. Most beautiful scene move in the anime in my opinion. As for the music aspects though, man, it was popping in this episode, mostly in the Hal battles. We got to hear XY title theme music, XY gym music, Sun and Moon trainer battle music, and that theme that was used a lot in the Chargeable Grace episode. I just cannot remember that specific name for that theme, but it's so hype. All of this music combining together though to make a great music selection in this episode. With that said, that concludes all the sections for this review. So all that's left is to give a rating for this episode, which I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. I feel like that's fair. Just trust me, I don't hate this episode. I just know I've seen better and that it could have been better. I would highly recommend that you watch this episode though, as it would be the start of absolute greatness. If you have watched this episode though, then let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this episode though. I'd love to hear. But that everybody now finishes off this review. So, if you enjoyed this video, then be sure to consider leaving a like, a subscribe and a share for future Pokemon content. It helps out a ton. You'll also become a member of the Entity Squad. Entity Maze merchandise is available in the description below too. For now, this is Entity Maze, signing out. Thank you for watching.